Well, Ghana has much to learn from Brazil's strong spatial planning, city management and urban mobility systems. Despite tens of thousands of climate experts, government officials and environmental tourists arriving for COP30, effective transport system kept major roads free from heavy gridlock due to multiple commuter options. In this report, Carlos Kalani examines the city management strategies that pushed urban mobility to the forefront at COP30 in Belém, Brazil.
This is an area view of Belém, ranked 27th among Brazil's major cities and host of COP30. The Amazonian city is lively with nightlife, food, culture, and welcoming residents. But its key feature is its disciplined urban planning and mobility system. From the airport, roads are clearly marked and free of hawkers. About 50,000 delegates entered the city through this airport, yet no major gridlocks were recorded, even around the Hangar Convention Center. The reason is simple: effective planning and diverse transport choices. Beyond rapid bus systems, Belém offers ride-hailing services and what Ghanaians call Okada, except that riders here strictly follow road traffic regulations. There is also another key reason traffic is almost absent. The jets, an electric scooter using geolocation maps, let users move across the city cheaply, helping reduce vehicles on the roads. So how does it work? Clara, a leading manager at a jet station at COP30, explains.
So the scooter is working of a rental. You pay a rental a package of the minutes, hours, and minutes for hours. Today the minutes is 62 cents. You pay in the app. You need to download that in your cell phone, confirm your phone number. So that is, you can buy, you can pay. So you can ride anywhere in the city, but some rules in the app.
Can Ghana apply similar lessons to address Accra's daily gridlocks? Dr. Nimue Thompson, chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, says cities need a radical shift in planning and local management to build future-ready urban spaces.
If you want to grow and transform your national economy, you must grow and transform your local economy. I keep using Accra. I just recently came back from Bibiani. I drove from Accra to Bibiani. It was quite a depressing sight, to put it mildly, how the economy has become more and more informalized, often through the neglect and also conscious decisions by the district assemblies.
Belém, though not among Brazil's top 10 cities, shows what modern urban planning and mobility can achieve.
This is a way of managing traffic situation here in Belém that we can also emulate in Accra, Ghana, where traffic situation is so unbearable. Reporting from Belém, my name is Carlos Kalani for Joy News.
Now, as climate finance mitigation adaptation talks will wrap up at COP30 in Belém, Brazil, Ghana's formidable roster of climate negotiators is making an aggressive final push to secure the financing needed for the country's climate adaptation and mitigation drive. The negotiating team says its goal is to ensure Article 21C of the Paris Agreement is firmly embedded in COP30's final decision. Carlos Kalani again reporting from Belém.
Article 21C of the Paris Agreement demands that global finance flows align with low-emission climate-resilient development. Article 9 requires developed countries to provide financial resources for mitigation and adaptation, with a clear balance between the two. Ghana's delegation, powered by its strengthened national roster of climate negotiators, has spent COP30 pushing relentlessly for these principles to be reflected in the final text. Dr. Samuel Doche leads Ghana's finance team at COP30.
With the expertise that are around, Africa should just expect nothing less than a very strong negotiation team, a very powerful and coordinated leadership a leadership that will be very transparent, a leadership that is very effective, a leadership that is very efficient in ensuring that African issues are given priority in the final discussions as we journey through these 2 weeks in Belém.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Protection Authority, Professor Nanama Brown-Kluche, says Ghana intends to fully capitalize on the climate finance opportunities at COP30 through the launch of its national roster of negotiators.
We started COP30 in Brazil with the presidential summit where the president nominated the ministers, Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Billy Amabua, and also the Minister for Climate Change and Sustainability here to represent the government of Ghana. So this shows the political will of the country, and together with the roster that we have launched, it puts Ghana in preparedness for the opportunities that are there.
Some youth negotiators at COP30 underscored the value of the national roster and urged government to expand training for young climate negotiators to safeguard Ghana's long-term influence.
This is the first in sub-Saharan Africa. So far, we are the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to introduce the roster, even though it's part of the whole UNFCCC process that every country should have a roster of climate negotiators. But then when it comes to Africa, this is one.
You need to be strategic in how you build capacity and technical expertise for the Africa group of negotiators, and particularly the senior experts in the country. We need to transition knowledge properly, and we have to do that consciously by having a program that supports young people to be trained in between the COPs before the COP actually happens.
Reporting from COP30 here in Belém in Brazil, my name is Carlos Scaloni for Joy News.